Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Command Core studio. Welcome to the show. So today's episode comes to you thanks to one of my amazing patrons, Daniel, who's been supporting this channel as a general tier patron. And for the personalized deck, Daniel chose Laughing Jasper Flint. Thank you again, Daniel. A fantastic pick. A 4/3 Lizard Rogue for 3 mana in Rakdos. Creatures you control but don't own are mercenaries in addition to their types. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of target opponent's library where X the number of outlaws you control. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those cards, and mana of any type can be used to cast those spells. They need like a keyword or something for that, like just like mana freedom. I don't know. Something where you don't have to read the whole thing. Regardless, this is a very spicy commander where you're like, hey, you know what? I like to steal things. They're all mine now. Your creatures are mine. I'm paying them. They're my mercenaries. And they're like, sorry, boss, I gotta take you out. That other guy paid me more. They talk like that for some reason. But regardless, it's a commander that says, you know what? You steal creatures. Now they're mercenaries, which makes sense. They're on your team because you're like, I paid you, or I threatened you, or whatever I did. And all of a sudden, you're on my team. And because of that, we're going to just demolish opponents. And we're going to get more value off of our opponents, too. Again, the more mercenaries, like the more you can shake someone down. You know, be like, okay, hey, opponent, eggs off the top of your library. I'd like to cast those. Thank you. They're mine now. So being able to say, you know what? That player over there probably has some really good creatures. I'm going to get even more creatures into play, which then helps me get even more things because now those creatures are also mercenaries. This deck is about theft, in my opinion. This is how we're going to build things. Yeah, you could build, all right, by utilizing all the different mercenary types. All the other outlaw types, I should say. I keep saying mercenaries, but this deck is not built around, you know, rogues. It's not built around, I think, rogues, assassins, mercenaries, as well as pirates, and I think one other thing. We're not built around that specifically. We do have those creature types in the deck, yes. That being said, what we are built around is utilizing our opponent's creatures as our own in a variety of exciting different ways. And of course, we're utilizing a very, very budget-friendly build. $17.92 according to Moxfield, even with a commander that is $3 itself. Every single card in the deck at the time of building it, 50 cents or less. Keep in mind that this price, the $17.92, does not include shipping or basic lands, but you already have those basic lands. Regardless, still a very budget-friendly build for you. Check that deck list down in the description below. With all that said, let's jump into the tactics. First, let's start things off with a bang with the golden pig of this deck. That's right, the number 1 card ever, 99, and that is Thieving Amalgam, a 6/7 Ape Snake for 7 mana in black. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you manifest the top card of that player's library. Whenever a creature you control but don't own dies, its owner loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Now, this is just like made for this commander. Now, it's an ape snake, which is not an outlaw, but okay, that's fine. What this does is this gives us 1 outlaw per each opponent's turn because we are stealing cards off the top of their library. We are making them into 2/2 creatures and saying, you now are a mercenary. And they're saying, I don't know what I am, sir, but yes, I am. And all of a sudden, you get, again, 3 outlaws with each trip around the table. That is huge. But also on top of that, anytime any of our creatures that are stolen die, our opponents are going to pay. That owner of that card is going to lose 2 life, and we gain 2 life. And of course, yeah, with manifesting them, we can like flip them over their creatures too, which is quite nice. So this does a lot of things for us. Definitely, in my opinion, worthy of the title of Golden Pig. Next up, tactic number 2. Yours is mine. Outrageous robbery. Instant for X, black. Target opponent exile the top X cards of their library face down. You may look at and play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana's or mana type to cast it. Basically, just like kind of an extension of our commander's ability in a way, but it's like, okay, dump mana into this. Get things off of someone's library. Instant speed, that's quite nice. You can just save this up until, like, you know, right before your turn if you need to. And we'll get to it in a little bit, but we do have a lot of ramp with this deck because why not get access to all of our opponent's things? Predator's Hour, sorcery for 2 mana. Until end of turn, creature you control gain Menace. And whenever this creature deals combat to a player, exile the top card of the player's library face down. You may look at it and play it. And then the whole, you know, mana thing. Basically, what we're going to be doing is saying, okay, team, that is, you know, recruited mercenaries because we didn't, you know, really, get anything ourselves. We just stole them all. Go and attack everyone. Go and attack your owners. Sure, why not? you're going to get through a lot more easy because you have, Menace. Good for you. And also, when you do get through, I get more friends to add to the table. Thank you so much. Decadent Dragon, one of our own creatures. Look at us go. 4/4 dragon for 4 mana, flying trample. Whenever attacks, create treasure token. That's very nice. That being said, also, instant adventure. 4/3 mana, expensive taste. Exile top 2 cards, target opponent's library face down. Look at them, play them. Good for you. Gonti, Lord of Luxury. 2/3 run rogue with Death Touch for 4 mana in black. Enters the battlefield with top 4 cards, target opponent's library. Exile one of them face down, with the rest of your library in random order. Again, the whole cast thing. Have fun with that. And keep in mind, Gonti is actually a rogue as well. Crabomination! What a cool name. 5/5 Crab Demon for 6 mana. Or you can merge for an artifact for 7, essentially, in black. Enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles cards to the top of the library, or exiles a card, I should say. A card at random from their graveyard, a card from their hand at random. You may cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. Cast one thing for free. Have fun. Out of 3 different amazing things, potentially. Yeah, you can do a lot of cool things with that. Xander's Pact, Casualty 2. So sacrifice something if you're like, oh, opponent, I don't really want your creature anymore. Here, take it back. For 6 mana, so you get this twice. Each opponent exiles the top card of the library. You may cast spells from the cards this turn by paying life instead of mana. Yeah, potentially you basically cheat 6 things into play. I mean, with life, sure, that's fine. We'll find other ways to get life, right? Next up, tactic number 3, still mine. Yeah, we're still stealing your opponent's things. Cunning Rhetoric, enchantment for 3 mana, and whenever an opponent attacks you or more, one or more planeswalkers you control exile the top card of that player's library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and to get the whole mana thing. Yeah, this is either a great attack deterrent, which is very nice. But like, hey, opponents, I'm just going to sit here. You're going to swing at me? No? Okay, good. And if it's not, you're getting value off the top of your opponent's library. So all of a sudden, like, oh, yeah, I get to steal more things, get more outlaws in play. Good for me. Mercenaries in play. Bismuth Mind Render. A 4/3 Eldrazi with Devoid and Menace. Deals combination of player. That player exiles cards at the top of the library to exile a non-land card. You may cast the card by paying life. Cool. Do that. Yeah, just get through, hit them, and all of a sudden, sure, have fun with it. The Ruinous Powers, enchantment for 4 mana and Rakdos. Beginning of your upkeep, choose an opponent at random. Exile the top card of that player's library until end of turn. You may play a card as a spend mana. There's over type to cast it. Yeah, the whole mana. We need a mana thing. Anyways, whenever you cast a spell this way, it's on or lose life, its mana value. More punishment do be had. Okay, opponent, that's mine. Thank you. I appreciate that. All of a sudden, yeah, you're losing life now as well. Mezio Mugger. Its attacks exile the top card of each player's library. Each, not just one. You may play those cards this turn. You may spend mana on any type to cast those spells. Blitz 4/3, so you can get this out right away and swing with it when need be. It's also a rogue. Keep that in mind. Stolen Strategy, enchantment for 5 mana. This is huge. Beginning of your upkeep, exile top card of each opponent's library until end of turn. You can cast them. The mana fixing thing. Have fun with that. Basically, 3 card advantage every single turn. Speaking of which, Atali. Yeah, this is not an outlaw, but it is an Elder Dinosaur that's going to give you a lot of value. 6/6. Whenever it attacks, exile top card of each player's library. Cast them for free. Oh my goodness. So much value to be had. Not just casting your opponent's thing for free, but also yours as well. But yeah, any creatures you hit, now you're mercenaries. Congratulations. Elder Brain. 6/6 with Menace. Attacks the player. Exile their hand. That's just mean. Again, they were planning things. You're like, your plan's over. They draw that many cards, and then you get access to those cards. Those are now your cards to play. Congratulations. You're stealing your opponent's things while making them miserable and hitting them with a 6/6 and also ruining their hand strategy. Moving on to tactic number 4, play the hits. Yeah, even on a hit now, we are going to have some ways to gain our opponent's things. Dream Thief's Bandana. You thought the stealing was done. We're not done. Equipment for 2, mana, equip 1. Equip creature as combination player. Look at top card of the library. Exile face down, and you can play it. Cool. Good for you. You get to actually utilize it. Good for you. Grenzo Havoc Razor. 2/2 Goblin Rogue for 2 mana in red. Creature control deals combination player. Choose 1. Go target creature controls or exile the top of that player's library, and the whole mana thing, you can play that card. So yeah, whenever your creatures get through, this is a lot of value for you. Speaking of which, Orochi Soul Reaver. So much value to be had. A 5/4 Snake Ninja Rogue. There you go. It's a rogue, so it's an outlaw. Congratulations. 6 mana. You can ninjutsu it out as well. Again, we've talked about some menace creatures already, so other ways to get through. Whenever one or more creature control deal combination with a player, create a treasure token. Oh, goodness. And manifest the top card of the player's library. So again, yet another way to get creatures off the top of our opponent's libraries and also make treasures. What is not to love about that? Moving on to tactic number 5, though, we've got Bring It Back, and bring it back we shall. Choose target creature card in a graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Put that card on the battlefield under your control. Instant speed, being like, hey, you gonna die over there? Okay. I'd like you on the team now. Giant, amazing creature, thank you. Minions return very similar. You can flash this in, enchant a creature. When it dies, return the card to the battlefield under your control. Steal it, yay. Shade's Form. Enchant creature has pay a black +1 until end of turn. So yeah, you can throw this opponent's creature, like, have fun. You're like, wait, why'd you put this on my creature? Oh, because when it dies, it comes back and play under my control. Thank you. Unhallowed Pack, exact same thing. When it dies, comes back and play under your control. Unholy Nature, exact same thing, but also a counter on it. Cool, that's nice, slightly larger. And a slightly larger effect than that is Thrilling Encore, a much more larger effect. Instant for 5 mana in black, put on the battlefield under your control all creature cards and all graveyards that are put there for the battlefield this turn. Hey, everything that died, you're mine now. Everything is mine. Someone casts a Wrath and you're like, okay, cool. I just stole the entire board. Yes! Thank you for that, Wrath. I appreciate it so much. Moving on to tactic number 6, New Friend. Oh, you're my best new friend. Thank you for coming over to the right side of things. Quest for the Necropolis. Enchantment for a single black mana landfall. Get quest counters on it. Pay 5 and a black, but it costs 1 cast for your 1 less for each quest counter on it. Not casting. Sacrifice it. Put target creature card trigger in the battlefield under your control. Yeah, basically a reanimation spell that you kind of like sit on the battlefield and then eventually use when you need to, because you're just like, oh, it's just sitting there. Oh, I keep playing lands. Oh, okay, this costs 1 mana to use now. Good for me. Nurgle's Conscription. Instant speed. Get a creature from its graveyard on the battlefield. Tap it under your control, then exile their graveyard. Instant speed reanimation is quite nice. But also, yeah, it is kind of like, hey, you know what? I don't like your graveyard. Let's get rid of that for now. Path of the Schemer. Let's get you a bigger graveyard, though, with Sorcery for 5 mana. Each player mills 2 cards. All of a sudden, you get a creature card out of a graveyard on the battlefield under control. It's an artifact of other types, and ignore the Will the Planeswalkers thingy. Rise from the Grave. Sorcerer for 5 mana. Get a creature out of any graveyard. It's also a zombie. Cool, good for that. Bad Emergence. Again, any graveyard reanimation. Proliferate. It is key that we are getting any graveyard again, because we want to steal our opponent's things. Grave Upheaval. Any graveyard reanimation. Giving it haste, or you can basic land cycle away earlier on if you need to. Next up, tactic number 7, New Friends, because we have more than one friend coming in to play under our control now. Dredge the Mire. Hey, every opponent, you choose a creature. Everyone, you get to choose. You give me a new friend. Thank you. I'll reanimate those creatures. Grimoire of the Dead. Pay 1, tap, discard a card, put a study counter on it. Tap, remove 3 counter study counters from it, and sacrifice it. Every single creature comes to play under your control. They're also zombies. Good for me. Giant. Reanimation spell for everything. Chainer Dementia Master, a 3/3, giving nightmares +1/+1, and giving me nightmares. Pay black, pay 3 life. Reanimate a creature, essentially. It's also a nightmare. Leaves the battlefield, exile nightmares. Yeah, basically reanimation that is pretty cheap. Again, just 3 mana and 3 life. That's quite nice. Repeatable. Also pumps them too. But when this is gone, all those are gone. And you know what? That's okay. Ghouls Night Out. Clever. Like Girls Night Out. Got it. For each player, choose a creature card in that player's graveyard. For those cards, the battlefield under control, they're zombies. They also have Decayed. Yeah, again, you still get to steal them. Congratulations. They are yours. Maybe you can only swing once, but that's okay. Command the Dreadhorde. This might cost some life, but that's okay. Choose any of our creature cards and Planeswalker cards in graveyards, and it's going to deal damage to you equal to the total mana cost of those cards. Put all of them on the battlefield under control. Yeah, 6 mana to reanimate any number of things. Cost some life. That's okay. Gathlar of the Vault. Keep doing it. 5/5 Intimidate. So, yeah, your opponent's going to be like, oh, I can't block that. Cool. Pay X and a black. Put target artifact or creature card with mana value X from opponent's graveyard on the battlefield under control tapped. And that player mills X, so it just keeps giving you more and more resources for you to actually reanimate. The Debaser. Rakshasha Debaser. A 6/6 cat demon for 6 mana. When this attacks, put target creature card from the playing player's graveyard on the battlefield under your control. When this dies, it still is problematic for your opponents because you can encore it back out and swing again to actually reanimate 1 thing per each opponent. Ghastly Conscription. Finally, 7 mana. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard face down. Shuffle that pile, manifest those cards. Yeah, again, it doesn't matter if they're just 2/2s. It still counts to our commander being like, hey, you're all outlaws. You're all mercenaries here, right? Okay, cool. Let's just get some cards off the top of that opponent's library and decimate our opponents. Next up, tactic number 8, Destruction. Yes, Destruction, indeed. A 2/1 zombie warrior with a Cursed Marauder for 2 mana enters the battlefield. Each player sacrifices a non-token creature. This is brutal. Opponents, you sacrifice your things and give me, access to your creatures that you just sacrificed because I'm probably going to reanimate them now. But also, I just paid 2 mana to do so, and my creature died, and I don't really care about that. And if I really want to have you sacrifice more things, I'll just reanimate it again. And again. Haha. Rakdos Charm. Choose one, exile a graveyard. If you need to do that, do it. Destroy an artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. That can be quite nice, very flexible. Find some prisoners. Destroy an artifact. Cool, if you need to do that, great. Or basically impulse draw for 3 off the top of an opponent's library. Bedevil, very flexible. Destroy an artifact, creature, or planeswalker, whatever you need to deal with. Chaos Warp, get rid of anything. The other target permanent shelves in their library, reveals something hopefully worse, and it comes into play under their control. Demon's Disciple enters the battlefield. Each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Elders are born. ETBs, and it does that with the Saga. First lore counter, that exact same thing. Second lore counter, each opponent discards a card. Third, let's reanimate anything. Again, one thing out of a graveyard. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, legendary sorcery. Put up to 1 target creature planeswalker card from your graveyard of the battlefield to control. Destroy up to 1 target creature planeswalker. Exile this. Reanimate and removal. What's not to love about that? Speaking of which, Necromantic Selection. Kind of like that. Destroy all creatures, and then 1 comes back. You get to choose whatever it is, and it's a zombie. Cool. But also this gets to exile. Yeah, this is basically a Wrath that also reanimates 1 thing. Too greedily, too deep. A target creature card from a graveyard on the battlefield under control. That creature deals damage equal to its power to each other creature. Reanimation, but also potentially like Wrath, and it's like adjustable depending on what you want to get. Moving on, though, massive mana. Yeah, we've got a lot of ways to ramp with this deck. First up, there's Wayfarer's Bauble. Pay 2 taps, sacrifice, get a base land, and play tap. Everflowing Chalice, very flexible. Cost 2, taps for 1, cost 4, taps for 2, etc., etc. Arcane Signet, cost 2, taps for any of our colors. Charcoal Diamond, enters the battlefield, taps for a black. Same thing with Fire Diamond, but taps for a red. Fractured Power Stone, taps for a colorless. Mind Stone also taps for a colorless, but we can pay 1 tap, sacrifice, draw a card. Prismatic Lens, exact same thing, but we can also, well, instead of drawing a card, filter our mana. Iron Crag, do you want to make your commander slightly larger? Cool, it could become an equipment. If not, cool, it taps for 1. Worn Power Stone, enters battlefield, taps for 2. Hedron Archive, taps for 2. We can pay 2, sacrifice, draw 2 cards. Sisay's Ring, taps for 2. Sunspear Crystal, pay 2, sacrifice, and draw a card, but also exile any of our players' graveyards or Golem's Eye. Pay 2, not pay 2, tap for 2. Hedron Archive is a little bit bigger with the Dreamstone Hedron. You can tap for 3, pay 3, tap, sacrifice, draw 3 cards. Finally, though, let's move on to tactic number 10, highlighting a great land in this deck, Blood-Soaked Insight. An MDFC, so the backside enters the battlefield, tap. You can tap for either of our colors. But this is a 7 mana spell that can cost just 2, because it costs 1 less gas for each 1 life your opponent's lost this turn, so they lost 5. Congratulations, it costs 2. Target opponent exiles the top 3 cards of their library. Basically, again, impulse draw 3, that whole mana thing, good for you. Yet another great way to just do this off of a land. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.